This is where the hype train starts rolling. You get young, fresh talent with titles and race wins stuffed in their trophy case, and it's hard to believe that winners won't just keep on winning, even against a brutal reality of racing in the 450 class. More laps, bigger bikes, more competition, more races. Still, we just know talent and speed when we see it, and it is coming fast for Monster Energy Supercross in 2021. This year, Monster Energy Racer X preview shows for the Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. This might be the most hyped one of all, though, because everyone loves potential. Everyone loves young talent, and we got more coming in. Adam Cianciarulo, hot rookie last year, should be better in year 2. And then 3 really well-accomplished 250 riders now moving to the 450 class rookies in Chase Sexton, Dylan Ferrandis, and Shane McElrath. I do want to thank our sponsors, Monster Energy, of course, our title sponsor, also Maxxis Tires, Fly Racing. I just look at you, JT, and you too. But I mean, you feel like he owns the brand, how much he loves it. And New Ray Toys also hooks us up with some great decorations for our set, and you can have it in your house as well. But I do want to qualify the rookie thing just a little bit. Every year, some rookie comes in, usually, and everybody's all pumped, and they're like, what are they going to do? He could win the title like McGrath or Dungey did. Bro, most of the time, they don't even make it through all 17 rounds. I mean, look, so just chill a little bit, everybody.
We had the rookies last year of AC and, forgive me, who else was the rookie
Davos.
last year? The year before was the Osborne, Plessinger, Hill. And
Savachi, yeah.
So you look at the rookie class every year, and you're exactly right.
They get hurt.
Things happen. You know, doesn't go exactly swimmingly. It did in 1993 for a guy named Jeremy McGrath. It went well for Chad Reed. But generally speaking, yes.
Yes. Again, you can take your 2 times rookies won the title, and I'll give you 45 years where they did not.
Right.
But we're not just talking about the Sexton, Ferrandis, and McElrath rookies on the show. We're also including Cianciarulo, who was super fast last year. Almost won Anaheim 1. Fastest qualifier week in and week out to start the series. But again, it ended with injuries. But he picked it back up in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. So I think there's a lot of hype building for Adam. Maybe year 2 will be better than year 1.
Well, Adam showed speed last year for his 450 debut that we hadn't seen in that class since probably James Stewart, where he rides now. In terms of fastest qualifiers, fastest heat race wins,
leading a lot of laps.
Yep. I mean, all of that stuff. Adam didn't
won the Monster Cup.
Adam didn't clinch the deal. As we all know, he went out with an injury, which some of us thought would happen. But that pure, raw, nasty speed we hadn't seen since James Stewart.
Yeah, I think he has the ability to win every time he lines up.
Yep.
It will be interesting to see in this second Supercross season if he's able to remove some of the negative nights, right? The Glendale one jumps out to everybody. Huge crash, isn't able to finish a race. You look at all the points given away there. But then you go back and look at his Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, and it was much calmer, right? He had the speed. He was able to win, but he didn't have the races where he would just throw it away and DNF and remove himself from a series. So that's what I'm going to be looking for if he's able to retain the speed that puts him in that upper echelon. But if he can slow, and it may not be this year, it may be 22, 23, but I think just as he did in 250 class, it took him years to figure out how to win and to not have that horrible night. And we know what happened in Vegas, right? We don't need to go back down that road, but we can all, I think, agree, whether it was that Supercross season, the following 250 series of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, or this past 450 season of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, he's slowly figuring it out. I just don't know if 2021 is going to be the year where he's able to go through 17 rounds and not have the one round that removes it, because as we talked about in a prior show, that was the difference for Eli Tomac. He didn't have that terrible night. In the end, that's all that mattered.
Yeah, it's a pretty big bridge to say that Adam's going to go to have all 17 solid rounds. A lot of times it's the third year where the guy really dials it in. So it might be a little ahead of ourselves, but he has talent. But I want to spice this up even more. So let's talk about the drama. It's YouTube here, right? People love that. So let's see. You mentioned where Cianciarulo, where is he riding?
James Stewart's.
He's riding at James Stewart's. He moved there. Why? Why did he end up there? Because Chase Sexton, who he was riding with, is being coached by Stu.
Yep.
So Adam's buddies with Ken Roczen, who is Sexton's teammate. And then everybody last year was like, what if Cianciarulo beats his teammate, Eli Tomac? So you've got 2 teams with established guys and young guys and cross over who's training with each other. There's potential for some off-track drama. I hate this stuff, but I know the fans want to talk about it.
I'm really surprised you're getting into
I
this.
hate
yeah,
this.
I know you
I hate
do.
this.
But
fans love it.
And I don't hate it as much as you, but I'm somewhere closer to you, where I'm just like, give me a break. These guys see each other during the week. All this overdrawn, overblown drama stuff is just the days of Stu and Chad and hating each other and having their posses, which he was in one of the posses. Those days are over. The guys are commenting on each other's social media feeds. This is Eli Tomac aside. Everyone else commenting on everybody's social feeds. You killed it. Good job, bro. Let's go riding. Blah, blah, blah. So there may be some tension here and there over silly incidents. But, I mean, we even saw Oakland last year. Tomac blasted Adam out of the way. And I spoke to Adam off the record and on the record about that. And he's like, yeah, man, I was holding him up. Eli Tomac was coming. Yeah. I could hear him. He was saying. So, you know what I mean? There was no problems. There was no issues, anything like that. So, I'm with you, Weege. I'm not quite as far as you, but, yeah, give me a break on all the drama. But certainly, Adam Cianciarulo and Chase Sexton will make their higher-profile teammates have some worrisome nights, JT.
Yes, I agree with you. The only caveat I would say to you poo-pooing the drama.
I'm totally poo-pooing it.
Right.
He's in the middle. Yes.
Okay.
I'm middle poo.
Yeah, I'm double poo. He's 1.
Yeah. Fair enough. You're like you're a 2. You're a 1.5.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think that there is a chance for there to be some underlying hard feelings and some feathers to be ruffled inside that Honda semi, because we know, as we're all in these races and we're much more, we hear all the things and we talk to the people that a lot of times we can't report. Sorry, guys, things we can't talk about. Ken Roczen has been the alpha at Honda for several years now, right? Some people would even argue that he has too much control. He says where the bike's going, what they're doing, the direction of the team. I've heard this time and time again. I think as Chase Sexton's star gets brighter and brighter and he starts to wield more influence, that's the only chance I see of real drama is how does Ken Roczen respond to Chase Sexton maybe stepping into more of an alpha role? And there's a 1A and a 1B. And what if Chase Sexton starts winning races? Does Honda start shifting focus away from Kenny? Because not that Kenny's older, but he's been around a while. We don't know how long Kenny's going to race for. If Chase Sexton can establish himself as the new guy and put himself into championship contention, how does that dynamic unfold? That would be the only chance I see of that happening. Adam and Kenny and battle, none of that I think will happen. I think there's too much just camaraderie there. Mm-hmm. But I do think if Chase comes up and starts challenging Kenny's supremacy at Honda, that I think could get, even if it's just the people behind them, right? We see that so often. It's not even the riders that are talking. It's all the people behind them and the man friends and their support staff and everybody that causes all this friction. That's going to be something I'm watching for.
I heard the same stuff last year about what's Cowie going to do? What's Tomac going to do? As Cianciarulo starts winning races and going faster, how's Tomac going to react? There was no reaction. They were fine. They just raced.
There's not much of a reaction from Eli at the best of times anyways.
No, exactly. Right. I don't think they really spoke on good or bad terms.
Right.
They just did their own thing separate, and Cowie didn't really seem to have any issues.
That's what I think is overlooked here is the days of the teammates. They're gone when it comes to Kenny Roczen and Eli Tomac and these guys. They don't see each other. They're separate little teams within the team.
Yeah.
Like, they see each other at autograph signing for 10 minutes. They're
not anymore.
Yeah,
and not even that. Yeah.
They're testing on different days. They're riding on different days.
Yeah.
When they're practicing, they're off 2 different spots.
Cowie's separated. They have crew chiefs. The staffs are separated.
Yeah.
Do their debriefs after practice separately.
Yep.
Right. So those days, I think it is more than ever a team within a team with these big dogs.
But
although the Rockstar Husky team, I mean, those guys hang out.
They do. They're tight. They do. Good point.
The same dynamic goes on, and our sport is shifting a little bit more towards that, for good or bad. MotoGP, Steve's favorite sport, that's how they work. They have 2 different crews, 2 different staffs, whatever. There's all kinds of inter-garage drama all the time. These riders can't get along, and this crew is bickering with this crew about settings and all that stuff. So even though they're split, it still can go on.
Right.
If you get some people with some hard feelings towards each other, or they feel like they're getting more attention than the other, it could certainly happen.
Hold on a second, though. Before we get too far into this, we're talking about Sexton, and he's going to be good, and he's going to be fast. Whether Carmichael won this thing in his 3rd year.
Yeah.
Chad won this thing in his second year. Jeremy McGrath won it in his 1st year. Mm-hmm. James won it in his third year.
The AMA title,
Yeah, the AMA title, 3rd year. This is Adam's 2nd year. It could happen. It could happen, everybody. He's got the speed.
Possible.
He's got the skill.
Yeah.
He can come out. He's never won a main event yet, but he could come out of the gates and win 6 to 7 of these things and win this championship. He really could.
That's pretty bold. It's not crazy.
Would
but it's
anybody
pretty bold.
be surprised?
No.
No, exactly.
Anytime you have somebody that with that much speed, that is that good at starts, and has won championships in other classes and other series, of course it's possible.
So I think he'll start a little slow. I think it hasn't been the smoothest offseason for Adam this offseason, but I think he'll come in a little under the radar a little bit, maybe not at a peak 100%, but rounds 3, 4, 5 is when we're going to see Adam at his peak, and that's when things could really start to take off. And he's got everything to win this championship in his second year.
Wow. That's not, again, crazy, but it is bold.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Now, I think a lot of people watching this would be a little confused. We've talked about Sexton here a lot. But it did seem like there was a time last year where it was Dylan Ferrandis as the hottest 250 property. And maybe Sexton was a little under the radar compared to that. But a couple things have changed. First of all, Sexton was really good last year in the East. I feel like maybe Ferrandis was as good in 2020 as he was in 2019, where I feel like Sexton made a move. Sexton won that East-West shootout at the end of the year. Ferrandis was covering for points. I get it. Sexton got on a 450 outdoors. Sexton wins the final race of the year. And Ferrandis hurt himself. We think he'll be racing Houston, but it'll probably slow him a bit. So I feel like it's actually flipped. I think there was 6 months ago, Ferrandis had the most. I can't wait to see what this guy does on a 450 hype. I feel like it's flipped now. I'm not sure where we are on Ferrandis, especially because of this hand injury. What do you think?
I agree. For me, and we're going back a little bit, Sexton, I was like, this is early. That was my recurring theme and thought with Sexton moving to the 450 class last summer. I was like, it feels early.
Yeah, and Honda in 2019 announced that they would do this in 2020, and he had won one outdoor moto and one Supercross race.
I thought it was insane.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't
He proved all of us wrong.
Yeah, it is coming together
Any
big time.
doubt that was ever had by me is now gone.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be fantastic. I am a little bit bummed that Ferrandis is coming in hurt. Levels of hurt, shades of gray, we know, but I think it's going to cast a shadow on what he's capable of because he's missing some of the most pivotal time for testing and training and building the foundation for what the season's going to be. But I would agree with you. I think Sexton's stock, proverbial stock, rose the most in 2020. I mean, he went from a guy that was like, yeah, he's pretty good, kind of felt like he backed into that 2019 Supercross championship with Forkner. He absolutely earned it. He beat Shane McElrath at the toughest time, and then he comes out at the first Lucas Oil Pro Motocross round and is the fastest qualifier.
Yeah.
6 months ago, Dylan Ferrandis was a better rider than Chase Sexton. Without a doubt.
I think Sexton would argue that.
You think?
Okay, Sexton wouldn't, and
but
Beaker
for sure,
would.
if you were buying stock, I think Ferrandis' stock would have cost more.
But at Salt Lake, could you really say that with beyond the shadow of a doubt?
Yes, because
with
the East Coast,
Sexton
because
rode?
you could have got fourth in the East Coast 250 series.
Yeah, but that last race, the way Sexton rode.
I know, but
it was good.
But that East Coast 250 class was a joke show at Salt Lake. Especially
I don't care about anybody else other than the battles he had with McElrath and then judging Ferrandis on his races also.
He's a red flag away from losing a championship. Chase Sexton.
Okay,
He's a red flag away
I'm
from
judging them
losing.
on their individual performances.
Listen, 6 months ago, Dylan Ferrandis is the better rider, has the better future, is going to do a better job.
That's okay for you to say. That's saying June.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that in June.
And so here we are 6 months later. As usual, I'm right. JT's off the mark, as usual. But 6 months later, they're in a virtual tie, or Sexton's ahead. I know. Sexton's ahead. If you're buying stock.
I was not expecting that.
I have nothing to say to you because I don't agree with the first premise.
Okay.
How about 8 months ago? Can we agree on that?
Fair enough.
All right, 8 months ago,
Right, okay.
April of last year.
Because to me, Salt Lake changed everything. Those last 3 rounds where Sexton just came out of his shell, that's the change.
Okay.
That's the change.
And followed by these 450 rounds.
What was the date of Salt Lake City 7th? June 11th?
21st, I think.
June
Something like
21st?
Yeah.
So 6 months ago, we were at Salt Lake 2 or 3.
Oh, okay, fair point.
Yeah.
It was before those.
He's talking the final Salt Lake.
Okay, all right.
I'm talking the first Salt Lake.
The last 3.
This is what I got to deal with.
So wait, we're shooting this on January 5th. So we're saying on June the 5th, just before those final 3. Wow. Mark it down.
This is what I got to deal with.
This is when the stock split.
Right. But that's my point is right now is Sexton and Ferrandis are just neck and neck for this thing. And that's a testament to Chase and the skills we saw this summer. And but Dylan, maybe we're sleeping a bit on Dylan. He's not from America. He doesn't have a great PR program. Him and Villeman are just doing their thing.
I'm not.
So I'm not saying you are, but maybe
the only thing I am a little down on Dylan is the injury.
Yeah,
I just know how critical that time is to prepare yourself for the season. That's it.
We never underhype a guy who wins the 250 Supercross and Motocross title in the same year. We probably overhype them, and I would be.
And he's in the same spot as Aaron Plessinger or Zach Osborne.
And we just see with rookies, man, it doesn't always work out. So I think that's why we're just give us time with Ferrandis. He will be good.
I think he's going to anger some people. He's going to anger some people.
He is.
Yes.
Running into some guys?
Aggressive riding?
Yes, aggressive.
Yeah.
He will. He's aggressive. He does not care, who you are or what your name is on the back of the jersey. Dylan Ferrandis will make some enemies, but that's who he is, and I don't have a problem with that.
Let's throw in a shout-out to our sponsors here. Monster Energy is our title sponsor. And by the way, that Yamaha team, it was Monster Energy Yamaha last year. That was an in-house kind of traditional factory outfit. That is moved over. Star Racing, who ran Yamaha's 250 program, now manages the 450 program as well. That includes Ferrandis and also Malcolm Stewart and Aaron Plessinger, who we'll talk about on our next shows. So that's another thing. Also, we've seen some guys jump from the Yamaha 250 to the 450, and they weren't able to maintain. Cooper, Webb, Plessinger. Maybe staying with Star will be to Ferrandis' advantage. He certainly hopes so. Also, a shout-out to New Ray Toys right here, Max's Tires, and Fly Racing.
While we're talking about these guys, we had our buddy, Phil Nicoletti, Canadian Supercross champion, on the Pulp MX show the other night, and he had a very hot take about Shane McElrath, who's a rookie 450 rider with the Bullfrog Spas MCR Honda team. Phil, you are claiming big things for Shane McElrath. Now, look, I like Shane McElrath. I think he's coming into Houston injured. He's probably going to miss the first round or two with his shoulder. But let's talk about it as if he's healthy. You, I think, are a little out there with your take on Shane McElrath.
I don't feel like I am. I feel like the shitting on Shane has got to stop. Bummed about the shoulder injury because there's no one that comes out hotter in a season than Shane does. He's won multiple openers. Obviously, they're in the 250 class, but he opens up really well. He is a Supercross Lights contender, has been for multiple years, has beat plenty of the past champions that were in his class that are now supposedly race, contenders, which I don't see why we're valuing Shane between 9 to 15th place guy when I see him between 4 and 8 every weekend.
Do you have any sort of reasoning or proof of that, Phil, or why you think that?
The past couple of years are evident of what he should be able to do. Obviously, he went down to the Supercross Championship last year with Sexton. It was neck and neck. I just don't understand where the miscalculation is of valuing him where he is at right now.
Well, Phil, let me tell you, if he can be your 4 to 8, is that what you said?
Yes.
Healthy?
Yes.
If he can be 4 to 8, the Bullfrog Spas Honda team will be ecstatic with those results, I think. But I think, Phil, you're looking more at a 9 to 15 spot for Shane McElrath.
There's no way Shane is 9 to 15.
Okay, do we perhaps need to make a little wager on this?
Yeah.
Okay. But off air, we'll do that. But, I mean, that's a hot take.
It is a hot take. Phil is saying Ferrandis, Sexton, last year's champs. Shane is right there with them. Everybody's blowing up Sexton and Ferrandis. Why don't we put Shane at that same level?
Well, Phil, do you not agree that the Monster Energy Star Yamaha bikes were pretty good last year and helped Shane out?
They were, but even when he was on the Troy Lee bike, it was the same thing, same scenario, same results. Obviously he had a one-time year deal with Stars, so he kind of went that route to try and get the championship. Came up short, but it wasn't a big difference. And to value him at 9 to 15 is just, that's insane.
All right, that's Phil. He's a McElrath guy.
Dude.
What's funny, though, Phil, is that so we heard that McElrath might have this injury.
Yeah.
So I text McElrath and say, I heard you might not race Houston. He said, yeah, I might not. Separated shoulder. And I said, but by the way, Phil's hyping you up. And even he was shocked because Phil hypes no one.
Right.
So that's big.
Yeah.
Phil's
not even a hugger.
No. Doesn't like word love. Doesn't even like Christmas presents. But he likes McElrath, so that speaks volumes.
JT, his level of hype is high for McElrath. You'll agree with me on that. We can find common ground there.
Well, last night when we were filming the Pulp Show, and this is all time-stamped, I get it. During the Pulp Show, he was having a few adult beverages. So I understood how things can get carried away, and you get a little emotionally attached to your favorite riders and blah. He was stone sober during this filming of the episode.
And he brought the same
it
heat
again. So there is conviction there. I think it's misplaced conviction, but there is conviction. Hey, just like Shane has had to do his entire career, he's going to get his chance to prove us all wrong. So let's see what he's got.
And the team has shown with Mookie and with Brayton that they can do it, and there's no problem with the equipment.
and I'm trying to be objective. If you take away the names on the back of the jerseys and you just look at how great Shane has been the last few years of 250 class Monster Energy Supercross, it stands to reason how you could project him jumping into the mix, because that's what Cianciarulo did. That's what we're thinking Ferrandis is going to do, and on and on and on. So I don't have a great argument to just push back at Phil. I just think it's going to be a little bit more challenging. He does have an injury that he's now dealing with. I just don't think he's going to jump in there and be a contender to win like a guy like Adam Cianciarulo was.
But when Shane McElrath does come back from a shoulder injury and he jumps in, I think for PulpMX fantasy purposes,
Good luck figuring that out.
I think PulpMX fantasy purposes, his
Great pick.
handicap will be high,
great pick.
and he could perform. I don't think he's going to perform like Phil thinks, but I do believe that he'll be up there. And so PulpMXFantasy.com, you can win weekly prizes, yearly prizes. Shane McElrath will be a good pick many, many weeks, JT, and I think all those guys will be on that team.
Yeah, and the great thing about those guys, if maybe Shane does struggle early rounds, we think maybe he's even going to miss the opener, maybe Houston altogether. When he does come back, oh, man, his handicap will be up. He's going to be prime picking.
Weege, make sure you select all 8 riders.
Yeah,
PulpMX Fantasy.
get your programmer to fix that problem. It cost me a lot of money. Not that I would spend money or gamble on anything,
right.
or that maybe that's legal now. This group is a really dangerous group in fantasy. Like, just start it with Cianciarulo. I mean, he goes out and he's the fastest guy in qualifying, which makes you want to pick him. But he could crash out of the main.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did it last year.
Yeah, he did that for a lot of people for sure. And you know what, Weege, you actually nailed it. All 4 of these guys that we talked about this list for PulpMX fantasy purposes could be all over the place.
Fastest qualifiers, heat races, looking good.
Boom or bust.
Any of them.
You could be rubbing your hands together like RV after practice.
Oh, yeah.
And then be wiping tears away.
They're like the crazy hot girlfriend, right? They look amazing, but then you just know that they're really crazy and you're going to have to deal with that craziness at some point, and that is the DNF
Somewhere
that these
along the
riders
line.
will present.
But, okay, so look, the next show we're going to cover your title favorite, Justin Brayton. But outside of Justin Brayton in the next show, and we've
Looking good.
Weege, you gave us
Perfect 10.
You gave us the stat earlier.
Sorry, Maxis.
You gave us the stat earlier, Weege, that 4 guys won races last year.
I didn't give that stat, but yeah, I think you're 5. 3 guys won all of them, and then Barsha and Osborne.
Barsha and Osborne.
Yeah, 5.
And we've seen this year after year where we predict, or people predict, this guy's going to win, this guy's going to win, this guy's – and before you know it, there's 8 or 9 race winners in a 17-round series. Yep. It never turns out like that.
No, it's always about 5.
Would you say that Cole Seeley will be a multiple race winner in 2021?
No.
Okay.
We're finally done with that.
Everyone focuses on the things I got wrong. But the nets and other things that I get right.
We know that you only focus on the things you got right.
That's correct.
Give me your race winners for 2021, Weege. Give me your – let's say there's going to be 5.
Okay.
But do we have to pick 5, or can we pick who we think is going to win?
No, because I think we need to make a new rule. Make it 5. Because it's too easy to get at a jail-free card to just pick 8 guys and sound like a hero.
I want to go Wes.
Really?
I want to go Wes.
Really?
Yeah. So can we go 5 or under?
Yeah.
Sure. That is extra bold.
In the Supercross history, throughout the years, this is what we've seen. One guy gets on a roll, injury strike, and before we know it, all of our guys that can win don't win.
In 96, I only picked 2.
Okay.
You basically have 4 at a minimum, 5 on average, and a really good year is 6.
Give it to us, Weege.
That's what we get.
Give it to us.
Yeah, so I had 3 guys on that first show. I would not bet against Webb, Tomac, and Roczen. That's 3. So I only got 2 left. I'll go Cianciarulo, and I'll go Osborne, and we're done. And that's easy math.
I have the exact same order as that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I want to pick Mookie. I really believe in Mookie. I believe the lightning could strike for Mookie, but I'm already out of 5.
Who was your 5th?
Osborne and Cianciarulo.
Okay. I'm going to go.
That's the easiest math.
I'm going 4.
Yep.
Whoa. Your top 3 from episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Add Cianciarulo, and we're done here.
Oh, somebody's going to be very upset.
Fly racing
there's
going
to be a lot of texts.
I picked him 12 in a row last summer.
You did.
I have some room to work with.
Okay.
Here.
Wow.
You bought some rope. Yes. JT picked him to win every round of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, and he won more than anyone else, and he did win the title. But, your phone's going to blow up when this thing hits. We will have another episode with some of those other riders. We have totaled up 22 big-name 450 riders. We got a whole bunch of that list that we're going to get to in our final 450 episode. That'll be episode 4, and we'll have a 250 episode coming your way as well. This is episode 3, the Monster Energy Racer X preview show for Supercross in 2021. See you at the races.